Okay, today we're gonna show you how I service my rails. I don't know whether is it correct, but I've been doing this for like really long time, and that's how I service my rails. So I'm just sharing, not telling you that this is right or wrong, okay? Just sharing what I do. Okay, anyway, this is the Aldebaran BFS series. Okay, Aldebaran BFS XG. Okay, what happened is the first day I bought this reel to today, right, I have like done maybe about 15 trips of saltwater fishing with it, and every trip, right, all I do is I lock up the drag, I rinse it, okay, then I will just either leave it in my car or I will just leave it at home. So I do wash it after every trip, but from the first day I got it to today, I haven't serviced it at all. So now I'm going to open it up, I'm going to service it. Let's hope it doesn't rust. There's no rusting. The only thing I did was to top up the oil, because I feel that the casting was a bit rough, so I just top up the oil, that's all. So now I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you what I do and how I open it up, and where do I put my grease and everything. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so these are some of my tools that I use, and I will just open it up and strip it first. So the first thing we take out is always a handle, because only when you take out the handle, right, then you can start taking out the side plate where the gear is. Before you start, you can also choose to take out your spool first. So far, I don't know whether this is metal or not, but so far this has no rust on it. Okay, you can see a lot of stains lah. This all the dirt. They can actually scratch it off. So besides the stain, there's no rust on the side plate. You can see that I fished so much because this color over here is like a bit greenish, but inside is blue. I really can see the big difference. Okay, there's no rust here also. All good. Okay, anyway, this is the Aldebaran BFS. I gotta be very careful with the spool because the spool is really fragile. This reel has one of the lightest spool. Really love this reel. It's very good for pitching, and I pitched live prawns, small lures around the pond to get accuracy. Okay, basically this is it. You look at it, no rust, everything is all good. Okay, so now we're gonna strip it open and see how is it inside. The screws also look fine to me. So I got this from this AliExpress Ray Studio. The thing about this is not metal, so it doesn't damage the nut. So I think this is really quite good. Anyway, I just used this like a few hours ago and I washed it. You can still see like water droplets on it. So far so good. I still haven't seen any rust yet. So you can see that they actually applies a screw tightener liquid on it. Don't know if you can see it, but it's still fine. There's no rusting on the screws. The 3 screws, right, for the Aldebaran BFS is different, so it's very good because I can differentiate that this is from the front, this is from the outside, and this is from the bottom. There's still another 4 screws. Okay, I need to figure out if the screws are holding on to the plate, so that's the troublesome part. Okay, this is a very small screw right at the bottom, and it seems like it's holding on to the plate. There's another one behind. The behind one is a longer one. So there's total 5 screws holding on to the plate. Okay, so we have opened it up. You can see a lot of water droplets inside. See some grease here. It's really dry up. I can't really see much grease left, but it's still really smooth. And there's some water on the drag plate and all these things, but you can see that it's really dry up inside after 15 trips of washing and fishing. I'm going to try to look for like rusting parts. I don't think anything is rusting here. You can see there's this special cover holding on, pressing down to the drag. Okay, there's no rust and the gears are all doing very well. So anyway, for this drag right, there's actually a clicker. So this is where the clicker is, so you gotta be careful. Actually, this is actually the clicker plate that is on it. I'm very impressed with this rail. Look at the inside, no rust, still look really new. So for some areas I use real X. Then for the gears, I love our grease that we have in shop. Then if I want a harder grease, I actually like the cow grease that I've been using for many years. So normally I will just wipe it dry and re-grease, re-oil it. I don't really take out all these small parts. That's just my way of doing it. It's a very nice piece of carbon tex. They actually use carbon tex instead of the titanium drag, which I'm quite interested to know why. Because I thought that the titanium drag is smoother, but over here they actually use carbon tex for a BFS rail. Even on the main shaft, right, I don't know if you can see it, it's still in very good condition, no rust, no corrosion at all. So now I will apply the grease that you can get it in our shop, www.redtackle.com. We actually ship worldwide. Anyway, I don't do servicing in shops, so please don't look for us for servicing. We don't do servicing, okay? So we're just sharing how we do servicing for our own rails. These are our own rails. This is just my own rail. So I'll spread it in the gears. If you can see, there's a very nice follow through for this grease. I think I won't put too much since it's a BFS rail, and normally I don't put too much of grease, just enough. Then I will just spin it so you can see the effect. Not too sure if you can see it. See the follow on from the grease. I don't know which is a better angle, but anyway, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, you can see the grease following it. But anyway, the only problem with this, right, is because there's a clicker, so this thing keeps bouncing out. So that's the most troublesome part of the whole servicing process. So I will just put some oils on some of the moving parts, like the spring, to prevent rusting and to make it like more what do you call it? I want it to be smoother, so I'll just put some Real X and prevent corrosion on some of the moving parts. For the anti-reverse bearings, normally I just put on a little bit of oil. Not your bearing oil, but I just put on Real X. I'm not too sure it's correct, but it has been doing fine for me putting this on. I may be wrong. But I don't put a lot, you know, I don't want it to slip or spoil. But I just want to prevent rusting and corrosion. So the problem with the Aldebaran, right, is this thing got to go syncing with the plate, and yet you still have to press this down because there's a clicker below before you can actually close it. So I'll put this metal thing in first. So I just want to share, like, basically if you close it up nicely, right, this thing should have no gap and it should fit nicely. There shouldn't be like any, like, it's like Lego, it should just fit nicely. So if it doesn't fit nicely, it means something is not right. So what I do is, after I put it on the side plate, I will start to screw back the screws. I won't tighten them, I'll just screw them back first. I'll tighten them only later. Try to use the right screw so you don't damage the rail and you don't damage the screws, okay? So normally I will use the plus to turn it in, but I only use the minus to tighten so that I don't spoil the screw. Okay, so in order to know if the rail is properly fixed or not, right, you gotta close it, put the handle on and put the spool on and do a check later. So I don't tighten the screw so much, I only tighten it later. So for now I will just try to fix everything back properly first. There's still some like bearings on the spool on the side plate that I haven't oiled. So basically I'll focus on the gears first and how I put back everything to check whether there's rust or anything first. So basically this is the nut that will actually tighten the drag, just to share with you guys. So some rails, right, if you realize that you cannot engage the drag anymore, it's because this nut has wear off. So when you fix in, right, try to tighten the drag, then screw this in so that you can screw it in fully. Again, I don't tighten everything first because I need to test. So you can also get our bearing oil from our shop. Trust me, try the bearing oil, okay, and you'll love it. Then you'll understand there's no need to upgrade bearings. Just my opinion. So normally just one drop is good enough. Don't put too much. If not, you'll realize that the casting is going to be really weird if you put too much. Sometimes it doesn't make it smoother if you put too much oil. So we close it back. So we test the engage, disengage. We spin it really well. Drag is doing well. There's still one more here that we will service later. Okay, so hold on. I also put some, top up the grease here for the lever wind. You know, I'm a lazy person. I don't remove the lever wind because it's too much work to remove the lever wind. So if the lever wind there's nothing inside, normally if it's too dry, I'll just top up grease to the lever wind. The lever wind, right, is exposed, so you gotta really be careful and not let any dirt go into the lever wind. If not, it will destroy the lever wind and the worm shaft, and there's a pore inside. Once that thing is spoiled and they go out of shape, the lever wind don't move, right, it also affects the cranking. So again, too much is no good. Too little actually is safer, so that you can top it up. Too much sometimes it's very difficult to clean it off again. So we check if the clicker is working because the Aldebaran BFS have a clicker. Clicker is original, okay? I try not to install aftermarket clickers because it just makes the drag plate thicker. So to me, it's just my preference. I don't really like it. Okay, so now I'm checking if there's a bearing here, because normally there's this bearing that holds the pinion over at this tension knob. So you got to move the drag, star drag to the right place, and then you got to turn it out. You can see, okay, that's the shaft from my spool, and then there's a round thing which is the bearing. Then in the middle of the bearing and the shaft there's a pinion. So this is the bearing that actually holds the pinion. It doesn't really help in the casting. I think many people think that it helps in the casting. I mean, to me, I don't think that it helps in the casting. I don't feel that it helps in the casting. Just my personal opinion, because it actually holds the pinion more than the shaft, you know. So it may help a little bit. I think the two that really help is the one on the spool and the one over here. This one not so much. But again, I will still, because it's in contact with the pinion and the shaft, so I will still put the casting bearing oil instead of the real X oil. Okay, so the next thing is to tighten and fix everything on. So again, to tighten, I will use the minus because I don't want to spoil the screw. And I will still tell you to use, you know, because the screwdriver there's a small handle, so just hand tight. Sometimes you use those screwdrivers with big handle, you're actually applying a lot of force to the screw without knowing. So just hand tight, but this one just a little bit. There's so much force and so much grip that you will actually over tighten the screw and you actually spoil the screw. So this is my Aldebaran BFS servicing done, my way of servicing. And I'm really impressed with it, even though I wash it and rinse it every time after fishing. But after like 15 saltwater trips, there's zero corrosion, and it proved himself that it's a very good saltwater reel. It can pitch really well. It's a BFS. You can use it for freshwater, saltwater. I don't think you'll have any issue as long as you wash it every single time, not with soap, just rinse it, lock the drag, rinse it, dry it. Okay, so it's proved that it's really good, you know. I haven't, after like 15 saltwater trips, especially Singapore saltwater is so salty, I still yet to get any corrosion on the reel. So thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, like the video. I see you next time. Bye.